Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Predicts WWE Fastlane 2021, taking place live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. on Peacock, WWE Network, and then the kickoff show taking place live at 6 p.m. on Peacock, social media, and the WWE Network as well. WWE Thunderdome, obviously, St. Petersburg, Florida. This is the final pay-per-view before we head into WrestleMania, which is absolutely amazing. Road to WrestleMania, you think about it, usually starts about 10, 11 weeks in advance where they start promoting it. And this is it. I mean, tonight, this basically paves the way to WrestleMania 37, night 1, night 2. So it's going to be an interesting night. I'll tell you this, I am excited, but not excited about the lineup that we got going on. Considering the fact a lot of it was last minute, considering the fact some of the matches that we've seen, we've just seen this past week. But with that being said, like I said, it does solidify tonight what's going to take place going into WrestleMania there. But 7 matches have been announced. Usually they go 8, but just depending on how long they go. Usually we do a 7 o'clock pay-per-view. Usually it's over by 9:30, 10 o'clock. WrestleMania is obviously going to be a different story, but like I said, social media, WWE Network for the kickoff tonight at 6, and then the pay-per-view itself live at 7. It's going to be interesting as far as the kickoff goes because news has broke that Charlie Caruso is potentially done with the WWE. Obviously Kathy Kelly, Renee Young Paquette, so to speak, and now Charlie Caruso. It's been a revolving door, so to speak, as far as the lead announcers backstage, the lead backstage interviewers, as well as the kickoff panels and this and that. Mackenzie Mitchell, still a big part of the WWE. She's been filling in a lot more, so it'll be interesting to see who takes on that role tonight. If Charlie Caruso is there, it'll be very interesting because of the media reports. When I say media reports, but the wrestling news sites reporting that Charlie Caruso is done. Reputable ones at that, but it'll be interesting to see tonight if she's on that panel. I don't believe she will be. It could be even Sam Roberts heading it up. Could be Pete Rosenberg, but could even be Mackenzie Mitchell. I don't know if they'll step her up that much yet. But she has the experience, obviously, so it'll be interesting as far as the kickoff itself goes. But like I said, 7 big matches taking place tonight. I'll get into it right here. Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Seth Rollins in the what I call the opener here. My list is going to be different from what WWE.com is because I go in importance of what I would pick to be important. Obviously, the main event, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, but usually I do the championships at the very end, and then kind of if it's a number 1 contenders match in the middle, and then obviously, just kind of matches that were made in the beginning. So hence Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, not taken away from either one of these guys. I'm a love Shinsuke Nakamura. Have since his New Japan days and have since he became, he came into NXT as well as the WWE, taking on Seth Rollins. So where are they going with the Seth Rollins character? Obviously, Shinsuke being close with regards to Cesaro, but going into WrestleMania season, the win does not benefit Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm going to say Seth Rollins to win this one. And then obviously we'll see him set up for WrestleMania, hopefully against Cesaro. I think that'd be absolutely huge there. So Seth Rollins, Cesaro at WrestleMania, but he needs the win in this one. So I'm going to say Seth Rollins in the opener here. Match number 2, intergender match. Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss. Very weird, interesting seeing the word intergender as far as the WWE pay-per-view goes. But Randy Orton taking on Alexa Bliss, and this has to be it. They cannot go and be on Raw and try to promote the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, so to speak, on regular television. This has to be it. This has to get people talking about Randy Orton versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. And how are they going to play it out? How it's going to happen? I don't know. Is Alexa Bliss even going to come to the ring? Is she going to come to the ring first and do some kind of, horror story thing to get him back as far as getting the Fiend back? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's obviously the entertainment side of the WWE, but the fact is, when it comes down to it, they're going to set up for Randy Orton versus the Fiend, Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Are we going to see a different Fiend as far as what he looks like? I would hope so. The Fiend character was absolutely cool. I got to see him debut at SummerSlam back in 2019 in Toronto, And I mean, the fans there at the ACC Scotiabank Arena were absolutely just in awe of the entrance, the character, everything else. I want to see that happen again. I want to see that happen. Obviously, it's going to happen at WrestleMania, but we're going to probably see a glimpse maybe tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow night, but tonight, with regards to the Fiend. But they've got to set it up here. And so I see this one being a no contest. I don't see Randy Orton or Alexa Bliss winning. If I were to have to make a pick, I would say Alexa Bliss, but I don't think it's going to go that way. I'm going to say it's a no contest between the two of these guys, male, female, in this match here. Match number 3 in the night, no holds barred match. Drew McIntyre taking on Sheamus, leading into WrestleMania. You've got to book Drew McIntyre strong. Especially going into the main event at WrestleMania against Lashley. So Drew McIntyre to win this. I think it could potentially be match of the night, as long as they don't go the route they did on Raw, both guys being down, whatever the case may be. But no holds barred match taking place tonight. McIntyre, Sheamus. Obviously, like I said, McIntyre is got to win it. It has to win it going into Mania. But the fact is, Sheamus has got to look strong as well. But where did they put Sheamus post this? It'd be interesting. It hasn't been any talk of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal taking place as of yet. But, they could have Sheamus in that winning it. Like I said, it could be match of the night tonight between these two guys. But McIntyre for the win for sure. Match number 4 in that United States Championship match. Feel like we just saw this, and we did. Riddle as champ taking on Mustafa Ali. Retribution. They can't take the champion. Well, I mean, they can. They can do whatever the heck they want to, but it makes no sense for them to take the championship off of Riddle. I'm going to say, going into WrestleMania, of course, the way that they played out Retribution, if Mustafa Ali had taken the title off of Riddle recently, so to speak, it'd be a different story because they could build a strong Mustafa Ali going into WrestleMania. But the fact is, Riddle, who he beat with regards to that match, Morrison and Lashley to get that title was absolutely phenomenal. But Riddle going in as United States champion into WrestleMania, especially with fans in attendance, they've got to play it out. They've got to keep it that way. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Riddle retains. I'm also going to say that Retribution finally turns their back, so to speak, on Mustafa Ali, and we see Mustafa Ali get beat down by Retribution. So I think that's it's going to be the end of Retribution tonight. Match number 5 of the night, Intercontinental Championship match. Big E as champ taking on the real Apollo Crews. I've never really been a fan of Apollo Crews. What he's got going on right now, it makes him more interesting. But the fact is, he's just one of those talents he's immensely talented. Don't get me wrong, but I think him being a babyface the way he was just kind of ruined it. Now there have been wrestlers in the past who have had babyface runs who they turned into a heel, hence The Rock. You know what I mean? It gave him a new character, and the fact is he ran with it, and look where he is now. Do we see Apollo Crews become the next Rock? I don't know. I don't think so, but it's I never say never as far as becoming a fan of somebody goes. So it's going to be an interesting match because power for power, these two are strong. If anybody can match power with Big E, it's Apollo Crews. But I don't think tonight's the night. I'd say, like I said, the last match there with Riddle, I'd say Big E to retain as champ, with regards to Apollo Crews. And to go into WrestleMania strong, and who's he gonna fight? Big E versus Riddle. I think that would be a cool match. But anyways, Big E to retain tonight is my pick there. Match number 6 of the night, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. It's gonna be interesting. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler with Reginald. Don't forget Reginald in the corner there, taking on Sasha Banks, the current WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, and Bianca Belair. So do they put the tag team titles on Banks and Belair? As a fan, I think it'd be cool to see the two hammer it out as far as WrestleMania opponents go. But then you take that emphasis off of those, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Considering the fact, too, that they've just established the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. So those WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the WWE mean even more at this point. So in saying that, if you put them on Banks and Belair and then have them wrestle for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania, there's no WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, especially when you got 2 nights going on. So I'm going to say this based on that fact and that fact alone. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain. Reginald obviously is going to play a factor, I think, in this match. And then we'll see Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair one-on-one for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania without being tag team champions. So I'm going to say Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler to retain there. Match number 7 tonight, main event, WWE Universal Championship match. Special enforcer is Edge. He basically beat up on Jey Uso this past Friday, so to become the special enforcer. Roman Reigns as champ with Paul Heyman in his corner, taking on the one and only Daniel Bryan. There's been a lot of talk of what they're going to do as far as WrestleMania goes. Are they going to do a 3-way in the main event? I don't want to see it. I want to see Edge get his moment at WrestleMania, because when you think about that match he had against ADR back in I want to say 2010, 2009. I forget the actual year it was, but Edge's last WrestleMania match when he was champ. When it comes down to it, they've got to establish Edge as that main event guy on a one-on-one match, spear versus spear, Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania. So in saying that, Daniel Bryan, obviously it makes sense because of Elimination Chamber, but to me, he hasn't got a chance in hell to win this match against Roman Reigns, even with Edge as special enforcer there. The setup they've got with Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, Edge, WrestleMania 37, live fans in attendance, 25,000 people each night. It's as much as I love Daniel Bryan, DB, so to speak. The fact is, when it comes down to it, he hasn't got a chance tonight to get that title off of Reigns, even with Edge as special enforcer. Say we could even see Edge spear Daniel Bryan at one point, and maybe I don't know, it'd be interesting, but Edge is too much of a babyface right now. But it's going to be interesting. Either way, Reigns retains. Edge versus Roman Reigns still intact for WrestleMania 37, and it's Daniel Bryan. Unfortunately, it's not going to be your night tonight, guy. So that is it for my predictions there. So I'll go through them once again. Seth Rollins to win match number 1 there. I'm going to say Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss in the intergender match goes to a no contest. I'm going to say we finally get to see the Fiend return as Bray Wyatt, but I'm going to say it's a different version of him, obviously. McIntyre versus Sheamus. I picked McIntyre. Mustafa Ali versus Riddle. I'm going to say Riddle to retain, like I had said, and Retribution to finally have enough of Mustafa Ali and beat him up. Match number 5, obviously, Big E retaining against the real Apollo Crews. Semi-main event, match number 6, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler to retain against Sasha and Bianca. And then the main event, Roman Reigns to retain with Edge as special enforcer there, guys. So those are my predictions for tonight. Like I said, Fastlane 2021 taking place live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m., Peacock WWE Network. Kickoff at 6 p.m. on Peacock, social media, and the WWE Network, and obviously taking place in the Thunderdome there. Earlier this afternoon, Best of the Fastlane matches at 11 o'clock a.m. took place on social media, so you can check that out if you're looking for more Fastlane action. La Previa, Spanish WWE Fastlane pre-show took place just a little bit ago, 2:30 p.m. So you can check that out as well after you're done watching this show. Thank you very much. And then upcoming for the rest of the afternoon is the WWE's The Bump, 4 o'clock today. So just a little bit there. Peacock social media as well as WWE Network. WWE Watch Along taking place 7 o'clock p.m. tonight. Same time as the pay-per-view. I've never actually seen one of those. It's, to me, especially when you're doing recap shows and stuff like that, I can't have anything else on. It's bad enough I'm typing notes and watching the pay-per-view itself. If all of a sudden I'm watching the pay-per-view, watching people watch the pay-per-view, and then still type it, no, man, it's way too much. As my head's spinning right now. But for anybody who is into that, WB Watch Along, like I said, 7 o'clock p.m. on social media, YouTube especially. And then after the pay-per-view is done, Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, Randy Orton, immediately following WWE Fastlane 2021 on Peacock as well as the WB Network. It's going to be interesting because, like I said, I see that match going to a no contest with him and Alexa Bliss. But the way they're going to follow it up, the way they're going to play it up, obviously storyline-wise, they would have had the interview done, but they would have known where they're going storyline-wise with this. So as Randy Orton talked about his match tonight at Fastlane on the Broken Skull Sessions, the feud with Bray Wyatt, to see where they're going. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, right after the pay-per-view, Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, Randy Orton immediately following Fastlane tonight on Peacock as well as the WWE Network. So guys, that is it for the prediction show. I will be back tomorrow for both recap shows for WWE Fastlane 2021 as well as NWA Back for the Attack 2021 as well. Guys, enjoy the show tonight. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, hit and miss as far as my excitement level goes. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, it sets up for WrestleMania. So that's the main important thing about it. As always, check me out at Chris Maloney, CWN, with regards to social media. And like I said, guys, tonight, enjoy the show. I will be back tomorrow for both recap shows for the NWA as well as WWE Fastlane. And I can't wait because WrestleMania is right around the corner. But guys, that is it. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I will see everybody again tomorrow. And take care until then.